Hey folks, Michael here with BreathTap. Hope everyone's doing awesome today. Happy hump day. It is Wednesday, August 17th, right? Yep, August 17th, 2022. Hope everyone's doing awesome out there. So I wanted to talk a little bit about HeartMath. It is a science-based practice. It's been around a long time. The HeartMath Institute's been studying the intuitive intelligence of the heart and its effect on the physiology of the body, the guidance system it provides for the brain and the body, and how you react emotionally, physically, mentally, how you heal, how you digest, everything, right? It affects everything. And so coherence is when your heart is in a specific rhythmic pattern that is very coherent, meaning it's communicating efficiently and effectively with other parts of the body. You're in a good emotional state of being. And just as an example, whenever you've been in let's say you were holding a newborn baby, or you're spending time with your pet, and you just feel that intense appreciation and gratitude, like you actually feel the warm, fuzzy happiness, and nothing else matters in that present moment. You're smiling, you feel good, you literally feel it. That is heart coherence, and that's typically what you are in when you're in those present moments where you feel that intense gratitude, intense love, intense appreciation. When you are in that coherent state, what's happening, and this can be measured, right? And so there's actually biometric feedback devices that HeartMath has created. There's the M-Wave Pro, there's one they make for your iPhone, right? And they even have an app for it. And there's software that goes along with this. It gives you a chart readout of your heart rate variability. And you could actually see what type of state of being that you're in. It's pretty amazing. So talk about bridging the gap between science and spirituality. That's what HeartMath has done for decades now. And the more they get into it, the more they're discovering. And so one of the things they have discovered is this intuitive intelligence, this guided system that is heart focused. That's why when you think of love and appreciation and gratitude, if you were to direct to your body where you're feeling that, right? Where you're feeling that in your body, it's always right here, right? Because there's a massive amount of energy in this region. And the reason being is that your heart actually creates an electromagnetic field that extends outward from you. It affects things that you're around, people, animals, even inanimate objects are affected by this electromagnetic field. So it's pretty powerful and can influence people in very positive ways. The reason that's important is because that's what you're feeling. You're feeling that intense energy. You know, sometimes you'll see somebody that sees like a baby for the first time, a newborn. You'll see them either kind of cover their heart, or even like maybe cover their mouth and their heart, right? That's that energy right there. And so another interesting fact about the heart, it's just not a mechanical pump. And that's something that we had believed for many years. It was just it was a main organ, right? And it just pumped the blood. It's way more than that. There's an electromagnetic intuitive energy that's flowing constantly. It's communicating with the brain. The amount of neural circuitry connecting the brain and the heart are significant. And then the heart's also connected with all other parts of your body. It knows what state your body's in. It knows what you're feeling, what you're thinking, how you're breathing, and it's regulating based on all of that feedback. And it's communicating with your brain and the rest of your body, which is pretty important, right? And this is important in you becoming more coherent. Why would you want to do that, right? Why would you want to be more coherent? When you are more coherent more often, you're happier, you're healthier, your body is functioning more effectively, more efficiently, you're digesting your food better, there's less stress, and it doesn't even matter what's going on around you. If you're in a coherent state, your life is going to be better as a whole. Your perspective on things could even change. You tend to see more of the good instead of the bad. You tend not to fall into negative thought patterns, negative thought loops, right, that kind of suck you in. You know, even watching things like the news, it's almost like a joke, right? You're not triggered as easy. That's how important HeartMath is. That's how important the intuitive intelligence of the heart is. So the more you're in that coherent state of being, the happier, healthier, more joyful, more grateful you're going to feel. It also gives you access to higher outcomes, meaning better access to intuition, better access to sixth sense, right? It gives you access to these higher states of understanding and learning and awareness in the way you will live your life. And so if you can live more intuitively, more in touch with some of those areas of the brain that are more creative, you're going to make better decisions, you're going to create more, you're going to align with more of that which you want. So you could actually be creating intentions in this coherent state, and then your brain and your body and your heart are going to try to take you to those intentions, and they're going to manifest more effectively, more efficiently, and they're going to come into your life in this harmonious way. And so HeartMath is such an amazing practice. And so how do you do it? What is it all about? Well, the funny thing is the HeartMath exercises, and they have several different types of exercises, are actually incredibly easy to learn. Anyone could learn them in less than a minute. That's how easy they are. In fact, they're so easy that I think one of the biggest challenges for people is that they seem so easy that they almost seem like they could not have such a powerful impact, right? Most people who have a hard time even getting into making heart coherence and the exercises a habit is because they get in their own way, right? They procrastinate, they do any things, they're stuck in these negative patterns. They're stuck in patterns and habits that have already been established, and getting themselves to stop and practice for even 5-10 minutes a day is incredibly challenging for people. It's not the exercise, they're easy. It's not the understanding. You can learn to understand what's happening. But getting it and doing it every day, that's the biggest challenge. Another reason it's so challenging is because, number one, obviously it is incredibly simple and you can do it in 5 to 10 minutes a day, once or twice a day, and have results. But the problem is, typically people aren't going to have instant gratification, right? At least not massive gratification. So it's more of a long-term practice. It's a mental hygiene practice, right? We have our physical hygiene practices. We brush our teeth, we eat clean food, we work out, we take showers, right? We take care of ourselves physically, but what do you do mentally? How often are you meditating, visualizing, journaling, tapping? You working on your mind and your mental aspects that you want to change or transform. So a lot of people just don't understand how to do that. This is one of those practices that you could do when you first wake up, before you go to bed, during lunch. You could do it any time just to shift your energy throughout the day. And the more often you do it, and the longer you do it, the better, because you raise your baseline of your state of being. So let's think about this for a moment. One of the reasons is because of the instant gratification. People do not get that. So you could do a HeartMath technique, which is, there's some deep breathing involved, some intentions, some visualization. There's different exercises. They all are very simple to learn and to do, and it only takes a few minutes to actually do them and get some sort of effect from it. So you don't have that immediate gratification, because you do have to sit down and train yourself to do these exercises, and even doing them for a few minutes is very hard for people, let alone 5 or 10 minutes, or even multiple times a day, or even daily. So you won't really notice the results. You'll feel good in the moment when you do these exercises, but if you're really in your own way, if you've got a lot of baggage, mental baggage that you need to clear out and get past, toxic thoughts, trauma, negative thought patterns, things like that, it could take a while to really notice any results. And so a lot of people just don't do it because it's so simple. They don't have any sort of immediate gratification, immediate results, and it takes a while to make it a habit, right? So it's like one of those things, like brushing your teeth. In fact, the amount of time you spend just brushing your teeth, or even taking a shower, that's all you would need to do this practice every day. And even within weeks, months, years, you're noticing all sorts of results that start to flow in. The beautiful thing is, though, HeartMath has these biofeedback devices. The biofeedback devices do show you in the moment how you're doing. They do show you over time how well you're getting into coherence and staying there. They do show you how quickly you get into coherence. And it's all based on the heart rate variability. Based on your heart rate variability, will determine how coherent you are. And you could feel it too. You could see when you're in a high state of optimal coherence, you can actually feel it. It feels amazing. So you get feedback from the technology, you get feedback from yourself, and then you create this positive, powerful habit that's really beneficial, especially in the long term. So it's amazing the transformation you could have by implementing such a simple practice. And the biggest challenge is people just get in their own way. They don't do it. It's as simple as that. So I get it and I understand. That's why I have my coaching practice. A lot of it is helping people get out of their own way, eliminate the toxic thoughts, the trauma, the thought patterns that interrupt them, that distract them, their addiction with dopamine, activities like social media, porn, Netflix and chill, eating sugary foods, processed junk. And I get it, like everybody does that stuff. But if you have no control and you're utilizing all that stuff to make yourself feel better, then that's when it becomes a problem. So that's what I as a coach do. I help people. Learning HeartMath is simple. You can buy your own biofeedback device from HeartMath Institute, but getting yourself to sit down and actually do it, understanding how it works, it takes a little bit of time, but the investment up front with your time and the little bit of money it costs for the biofeedback device is nothing compared to the transformation, the results you're going to see in the long term. You'll look back a year from now, if you started it today and practiced every day, once or twice a day, 5 minutes a day, you'd be amazed at the transformation you would have in 1 year, 365 days. And that's going to affect your entire life. It's going to carry over your entire life. And let's talk about carryover. There's an effect called the carryover effect with these practices. So as you get into these optimal heart coherent state of being, where you feel good, you're happy, you're healthy, you're feeling good, you're appreciative, you're joyful, right? Because everything is harmoniously working together from a physiological perspective. You actually raise your baseline. And what that means is, so right now, if you kind of wake up and look at your phone immediately and you kind of go through it, you kind of drag yourself through the day. Maybe you have some stress, some anxiety, maybe some health issues, disease, maybe some anxiety, maybe some depression, things like that. Your coherence, your heart rate variability are probably not in an optimal pattern. And you just have this kind of dull feeling throughout the day. Maybe you get a couple peaks where you actually do get a little happy, but for the most part, you are in this dull, slightly incoherent, or maybe even very incoherent state of being. As you practice HeartMath, and you start doing this daily, you start doing it multiple times a day, you're actually firing and wiring new emotional patterns, new state of being patterns in your neurology of your body, your brain, your heart, in how your body's reacting and functioning as a whole. And that's powerful because as you get the biometric feedback from the technology of HeartMath, and you're getting that feedback from yourself because you feel good when you do the exercises, you start to notice that you start to feel better more often. And so it starts to, there's like this increase, like you just find yourself waking up feeling better more often. You don't have to reach for your phone to feel better and get a little dopamine hit. You can kind of sit patiently without doing anything and feel good. You can bring up things that you appreciate. You could appreciate just seeing somebody and you don't feel anxiety or stress or anything. And so your baseline goes up where you're naturally at a coherent state of being more often. And that's powerful because when stressful things come up, stressful situations and circumstances, which they will, that's life, you find yourself more even-keeled, more level-headed, not reacting as much, not getting triggered as much. And guess what? You're making better decisions. You're more in that creative side of your brain. You're not in a fight or flight or stress state. You're feeling good. And that happens more often to the point where all of a sudden you're a different person. You're a different state of being. Happier, healthier, wealthier, whatever. That's the carryover effect. So doing the exercises will carry over. So it's like a compounding effect. So doing them every day, multiple times a day, is going to compound and create this magnificent state of being that maybe you never even thought was possible. And when you look back at who you were, it surprises you how much you've changed and transformed. You may even forget who you were because you're this new person living in this new state of being that's powerful, happy, grateful, and healthy. That's the power of HeartMath. So if you want to learn more, feel free to reach out. You could also visit my website at breathtap.com, and feel free to go check out the HeartMath Institute. They got a lot of great information, the science, everything, research studies, and the devices you could order too. So, all right, I hope you continue to create greatness in your life, and I'll see you later. Take care.